Welcome back to Clicks and Coffee. Today, I'm pleased to welcome Jim Stapleton, Vice President of Franchise Development at Caring Transition, part of strategic franchising. James has played a pivotal role in scaling the brand from 300 units in 2023 to over 400 by June 2025. An impressive feat driven by their support-driven model and innovative service strategies. As a proven sales strategist, he's also known for his four-factor sales philosophy: no need, no trust, no money, no hurry, and led strategic innovation during the pandemic, like virtual estate sales and grocery deliveries via city bids. Today, we'll explore his frameworks, growth strategies, and what's next for care transitions. Welcome, Jim.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So before we get into the nitty-gritty, I'm amazed with your office setup. It looks like super organized. Do you give classes on how to organize an office or
For me,
workshops?
I thrive in organized spaces. I mean, structure and all that is like very, very important to me. So for being in sales, it's about what motivates you. It's what keeps you bringing back. If you have a bad day, what can you look at to know that what your purpose is here? So I've got like a vision board. I've got pictures of my family. I'm really big into Star Wars and comic books and stuff like that. So my whole office is decorated in a way where I can sit back if I need to take a minute and be able to look around and know what motivates me to be able to get to keep on moving me towards my goals.
I think you should make a little workshop, a little video about your office setup, because I talk to a lot of people on Zoom or like any type of video meets, and rarely I think you're the first one that I see like such an office back, the office background is like, wow, this guy
Yeah,
looks like he knows how to organize his office. So, kudos to you. And for sure, I might contact you and get some ideas.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and then I saw also on LinkedIn that you're pretty, honest and fun. And the latest post that was pretty funny about those like fish shoes or
Yeah,
fish slippers. That was hilarious. What's the background on that?
I got an email saying that we got a package delivered to our old building over about 15 minutes away from where we're at. I was like, okay, I'll go pick it up. And so sure enough, I pick it up and I'm like, I have no clue like what this is. And when I opened it up, it was a pair of fish flip-flops that were size 12 to 13. I'm size 13 shoes, so I have no clue how they got that right. But yeah, it was from a company that wanted to handle our
Do
resales. So it was genius marketing, got my attention. So we'll be
Yeah, for
reaching out
sure.
to them to see if we can do business. So
That is too funny. That is too funny because like I saw that post and I was like, that is so strange. But why not? That's the point right now, is that we need to kind of you know cut through the noise, and it's very
yeah.
hard. And so I guess they got your attention. So can
Well,
you tell
anybody
us a
that
little?
knows me too, like I like to have fun. I'm always, anybody that's around me, I'm always laughing. I'm always trying to find the good time. On LinkedIn, sometimes it can be real stuffy. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's just business and how do you do this? So, the mixture of, things like that make you stand out. Also, I'm doing a series right now called Lessons for My Son. And so, I think about, time's uh, going by so fast. He's 13 now. And so it's like
Hmm.
all the life lessons that I learned, God forbid anything happens to me where he can go back and be able to read this. And everything I do, I mean, the reason I get up in the morning is for my family. So,
Yep.
small things like that to make me stand out. And then people learn who Caring Transitions is through me you know. So that's the whole point. I always try to stand out in the crowd, no matter where I am.
Yeah, no, no. I'm in the same boat. I have two daughters, and one is 15, and she's getting her car in a
Oh,
couple of months. Yeah, she's already drive. She's really a good driver, by the way. I'm gonna take a little bit of credit because I've been teaching her for a long time. Shouldn't say
sure.
that on
Yeah.
here, but I've been teaching her for a long time. But she's really good, and it's just like it's so crazy to imagine, they're still tiny babies, and now they're like
You
driving their own
blink, yeah,
cars.
and then they're 15. Yep. Totally agree.
Very good. And so, can you tell us a little bit more about, your background and then Caring Transition and what you guys do at Caring Transitions?
Yeah. So my name is Jim Stapleton. I'm the Vice President of Development for Caring Transitions. I've been with Caring Transitions for 6 years now. But I've been in sales for 30. I mean, I love that people come to us with like this idea of a business, not sure like what that looks like. And as we take them through the process, introduce them to each one of the steps, so finally they buy the business and then they launch. Like that's what gets me up in the morning. You know what's even better is hearing all the good news of how our owners are taking this business by storm once they hit the field. Most things I've sold in the past, it's kind of like, I get a check from them. Here's your policy. Call me if you need me. This franchise world is absolutely incredible. Like I can't imagine me doing anything else besides being in this world itself. The people, the culture, the support you get, I have to believe in what I'm selling. And so the team that we have here at Caring Transitions is absolutely phenomenal to be able to support our owners, and that's what helps it grow, right? It's not just we sell franchises, not just to sell franchises. It's all about putting the right person into the network itself, that is going to be able to support it. If you put a bunch of people in there that have the money and good luck, go get them. It's not gonna, it doesn't help the brand itself. One thing that my president mentioned when I first started with Caring Transitions, because I didn't come from franchising, he said, "You date them, we marry them. You're with them for maybe a couple of months. We're with them for 10 to 15 years." So that's always struck a chord with me. And I always use the analogy with anybody going through our process, because when it comes to franchising, if they're going to start their own business, I always say, like, think of like a house. If you light your own house on fire, it only affects you. But when you're in a franchise system, you're in an apartment building. Well, your apartment on fire affects everybody around you. So it's
Hmm.
about it's strategic growth. You mentioned like how much we've grown, over the years, and it's about this is definitely an interview process. Much as they're looking at us, we're looking at them, and we're putting the right people into the system that are going to be able to help support the system and help grow it, along with growing their own business.
And so, what is Caring Transition about? Like, what do you guys do? Because I'm sure you know what you're doing, but some
Yes.
people don't. And so, what do you guys do?
Yeah, most people when they come to us, they have they've never even heard of Caring Transitions before. We are becoming more of a household name, and we will, as we grow the business too. But Caring Transitions is the nation's largest provider of senior relocation and the resale of household goods. So what that means is we look for seniors looking to downsize, either into an assisted living facility or a smaller apartment. What we'll do is we'll go into the house, we'll find out what mom wants to take with her to the new place. We will box her up, move her over, and then resettle her there. No matter if it's assisted living facilities, smaller apartments, maybe moving in with the kids, but resettling her in this new strange reality that is now her everyday, and have it feel like a small piece of home. So we'll teach our owners to have that the pictures are hung in the same order, same height off the ground. Configuration of the TV is the same with their favorite chair. Beds put together, bed is made, clothes are put away, dishes are put away, so on and so forth. Then
Wow.
once they're settled in this new place, then we're going to go back into the house with whatever's left over. We're going to do either an in-house estate sale, or we're going to do an online sale through our own proprietary website, which you mentioned, called CT Bids. So this allows someone not just to have the local people come by to see what mom has in the house, but takes all those items and broadcasts it to a national audience. And then once the estate sale is done, any items that are left over, if they've got a value to them, we're going to donate them. If they don't have a value, we're going to toss them. But the whole point of our service is to leave that house in a broom swept fashion, so that a real estate agent can come in, stage it, start doing their walkthroughs, and sell the house faster.
Wow. That is a pretty broad array of services, but it's pretty cool. And so, one of the reasons we're talking today is because of senior living. And so, I found out to be amazing because a lot of the time and a lot of the stories that I hear is that people. So, unfortunately, and that's what I'm trying to say in most of the episode is like, you know. get to know senior living early, because when you're ready, then you'll be prepared and it's going to be a
Yep.
lot easier. Right now, we know that there are a lot of time where it's kind of like a hurry, they had a bad fall, they had like something and they cannot really move, or they are like super tired, or whatever event happens.
Yep.
And it's kind of like a rush thing rather than like a planned thing. But the idea is to, what I loved about what you said is always stressful, and then so you have a company that can really help people moving like a more relaxed. It's always going to be stressful, but help them in a more relaxed way. And do you have any cool story about senior living partnership with like a senior living community or operating group and caring transition, where it really helped the senior living communities also get moving faster? Because a lot of time people want to move, they're like, oh wait, I need to move all my stuff. I need to do an estate sale. I need to sell the house. I need to do this. I need to do that. So
Yep.
how do you partner with senior living communities in order to help them, you know, get faster moving and keep their occupancy rate above 80%?
Yeah, I mean, you're hitting all the topics right in the head. I mean, when it comes to a need like this, is very reactive. Like nobody plans for something like this to happen. I mean, we're dealing with the two things we can't control in this world, which is getting old and sick. Those are the two only guarantees that's going to happen to everybody, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's sitting around the kitchen table at Thanksgiving going, "Hey, if mom has a stroke, what are we going to do with all the stuff in here?" It's always a, "Oh my God, this just happened. Now what do we do?" Right? So, so what we do is, we come in and are the professionals to be able to do the walkthrough. We're able to expedite the whole process with this because we've identified it takes the average American family about 9 months to go from start to finish when they're faced with something like this. Because I mean, really, when it comes down to it, it is very stressful. It's a lot on the kids because they're the ones left with the house. But it's how much is your time worth? That's what it all boils down to. And so, for us, something that will take them 9 months to do will take us a week or two. Now, when it
Wow.
comes, all depending on the condition of the house, right? I mean, obviously, if you're walking into a 5,000 square foot hoarder situation, that's going to take maybe a little bit longer. But obviously, it's not going to take them, the family, years to be able to go through all of mom's stuff. And when you're living in a place for 30, 40, 50 years, you'd be surprised at how much stuff, you collect during that time. I mean, the average house is over 300,000 items in it. That's not a place that's been lived in for 30, 40, 50 years. And think of the generation. These are people that lived through, lived through a
Kids,
time
the
when,
grandkids. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, they lived through a time when they were taught not to throw anything out.
True.
They reuse everything. I can still think of my grandfather sitting eating his cereal and then pouring the milk into the coffee so he didn't waste it. This is the type of mindset of the people that we're dealing with that are seniors right now. Now, when it comes to assisted living facilities, for them it's all about occupancy, right? They gotta stay 100% full all the time. Some of them have some pretty long waiting lists also. So you better believe your name comes up. You better be getting mom in ASAP, or you're going to lose your spot in line. So for us, when they're doing their tours around the facility, they're recommending us because they know we can move mom in ASAP. And not just move her in, but resettle her there. Because when it comes to seniors that are moving into these places, they don't want to move in the first place,
Yeah.
right? No senior wants to leave their house. This is my house that I lived at for all this time, raised the kids, have the memories. So no senior ever wants to leave their house, but something forces them to have more care, right? So if they're in this place, some of them become a recluse in this apartment and don't want to go out. They don't want to, meet the neighbors. They don't want to see what activities are going on. And the kids can't be there with them because the kids have to be able to go through and clean the house out. So they're living out of boxes for months at a time, kind of a prisoner in this place. Now, the other thing too is, if they're using caring transitions where everything's set up for them, we've coined a term called day one living. So, Alex, in other words, what does that day one look like for this senior moving into this facility? Is everything set up for them, or are they living out of boxes? Are the kids able to sit with them and be able to, help them settle in this new place? on day one, where they can be like, hey, let's meet your neighbors next door. Let's go to the activity center. Let's meet the people that are in this place and help them settle in this new strange reality where they can walk in, sit on the couch and grab a cup of coffee, or is there a ton of work still left to do, right? That's what we are able to provide to a senior and a family, is that stress off their shoulders, is that comfort, and also making it feel like that small piece of home that they just left,
Yep.
just in a smaller version of it. And for the facilities also, by us being able to come in, not only are we professionals, that, everybody on our team is bonded in a shirt. If there is anything that goes haywire in the facility, we have insurance that can cover it. The people that are employees of ours, their main mission, the reason they're employee of Caring Transitions, is because they want to give back to these seniors. It's the hug and a check that our owners get afterwards, and seeing it on the seniors' faces of, oh my God, this is perfect. This is I couldn't imagine doing this on my own. Like, that's the payoff for them. And also in the facilities, you're moving Gladys into her apartment. That's not the only other apartment that might be open. So we got to make sure the people that are on the teams aren't going in other people's, apartments, right? That's the reason that background checks and stuff like that are very important for our people. They are actually W-2 employees. They're not subcontractors. And most of the facilities, they have that list of people that are approved to come into the facility. So by the ways that we conduct business, our global presence that we have, having over 400 locations across the United States, been being in business for almost 20 years. Next year will be our 20-year anniversary. All these things help a facility manager know that, we're a reputable company, right off the bat. We are someone that they can trust to be in the facility, get the work done, help mom settle in this new strange reality, and have the kids be there. Now, one more piece of this too is, if anybody knows anything about assisted living facility, these places aren't cheap.
No.
Most people don't have the nest egg just in case mom has to go into the facility, on the side. So selling the house is the main objective of all three of these services. And it's to sell it as fast as possible to afford where mom's going over to, because that's where the money's going to come from, right?
Yep.
So for us to be able to expedite the whole process in a few weeks, to get the house sold, money's in hand to be able to afford where mom's going into, and it's making the entire process quick, easy, hassle-free. That's what Caring Transitions is all about.
No, this is great. And the more I think about it, what's nice too is, as you said, as having a professional team, it's less disruption also for the senior living community, which means it's less disruption for the current residents. It's faster, like they know what they're doing. So it's just
Yep.
does it better and faster, which is it for them. It's a big deal because senior living communities, what first of all, if it's like, the older we get, the less we like change.
Yes.
That's a fact. I'm not making it up, and I'm realizing it myself as I'm getting older. I was like, I like my little, routine. But
Yep.
so same thing when you start having disruption for these residents, it's always, not a good day. So if we can make it as fast, so it's great. And so you were saying that Caring Transition does like helps with downsizing and also moving to senior living communities. What is the repartition, like what is the business um the business between the downsizing to a smaller apartment and then senior living communities?
So, I mean, the need for it is all the same, right? What we are able to do is customize, where she's going into. And by us being able to do a walkthrough of the house itself and finding out what items are important to mom, we train every one of our owners to actually wrap all the items according to the international packing standards we teach them, right? So it's getting everything from point A to point B, in one piece. It's done in a loving manner. That's the difference. Have you ever used a mover before?
Yes.
Yeah. So, they come in, grab the boxes, load the truck, drive to the next place, unload it, and they're like, peace out, right?
Yep.
So it's the caring and Caring Transitions is paramount to everything we do. So we really make sure that the senior is taken care of. The family understands what's happening. It's this kid gloves, wrapping our arms around mom experience. It's the experience all in all is paramount to everything else that we do. And the people we bring into the system, that's their number one driver. Somebody buying a Caring Transitions isn't the person that, is the investor that has 5 McDonald's and a couple KFCs in their portfolio and they're adding a Caring Transitions in. The people that are coming to us usually are coming from like corporate that, they want to start a business. This is their first time even looking into it. Most times it's the first time looking into a franchise. And the main driver of what brings them to Caring Transitions is that caring piece. They want to feel like they're giving back in some way, shape, or form, not just for these families, but also for their community. Leave a legacy for their family. A lot of them, it's family units that are in this. Even within the facility too, a lot of them will do talks, lunch and learns and stuff like that. Usually they have different events that come up that we're part of. So it's not just doing the one-off moves in it, but it's being part of the community within the facility too. Always being that trusted advisor, being able to answer questions and be able to handle anything that comes in. For us, peace of mind. For the family, for the community, for the residents that are in there. That's what separates us from everybody else that's out there when it comes to the move and this type of change in someone's life. It's that reactive, experience of, oh my God, what do we do? We got you.
Yeah,
Here's
yeah,
what
no,
we're going to do.
that's really nice to be. That's really nice to be able to, think like that in the sense that, like, okay, we're good. Don't worry, we
Got it.
have them.
All over it.
And so you were mentioning at the beginning that you love, giving back and helping people and leaving a legacy for your son. And so we were talking about these 4-factor sales philosophy. So we're gonna kind of, transition, I would say, from talking about the business and talking about you because you seem to be wanting to give back and with all your experience and all your findings, I would say, in sales, came
Yeah.
up with a very good concept. So can you tell us more about your concepts and how you see sales, because that's a
You
big
know,
part also of senior living industry is
yeah.
sales.
Yeah. I mean, for me, my degree is actually in art. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. But as far back as I can remember, I've been selling something throughout my entire life. I love this sales world. I think the wheels of industry move because of salespeople. There's nothing that is put out there and it generates money without a salesperson that's cranking those wheels. So being in sales itself for the past 30 years, I mean, I was professionally sales trained, doing door-to-door insurance sales, back in the day, knocking on someone's door, getting the house the old-fashioned way, sitting at a kitchen table. So the philosophies that I've learned, throughout the years, and I'm constantly trying to better myself. I believe in self-development, 100%. I've seen Tony Robbins 5 times. I've read numerous books and, I'm always trying to learn something new. So this concept of these, 4 reasons somebody's not going to buy from you all kind of like comes from, the philosophies that I've learned over the years. So those 4 things you mentioned, there's 4 reasons somebody's not going to buy from you. There's either no need, no trust, no hurry, or no money. If one of those 4 things are missing, no matter how perfect the product is or whatever you think it's going to sell, it's never going to sell if one of those 4 things are missing. So no need. So obviously if they don't need it, then you're just pushing a product on them and hoping they're going to buy it. No trust. So trust is the biggest piece in sales. When most people picture a
Mhm.
salesperson, I was actually talking to my wife about this weekend. Most people think of a salesperson as a slimy person that's going to take advantage of them, right? So trust in any kind of sales process is the most important thing. And trust is the one thing that takes forever for you to build and a second to take away. Have you ever been in a bad relationship or met someone that said something you were like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
and immediately their credibility is gone. So in our world too, I mean, in franchising, this isn't quick, easy sale. It's not sitting at a table with somebody for an hour and they're writing you a check. We've got a 4 to 6 week process for us in carrying transitions that we have to create this journey for someone and keep them engaged and keep them excited the whole time. So trust for us is 1,000% the most important thing.
And it's
Uh,
always the what I also say, one person happy with your service will tell another person.
right.
One person dissatisfied with your service will tell 10%.
Yes, it'll tell everybody, right? No money. I mean, that one always, I'm a little on the fence. I think people buy what they want, have to be sold what they need. So, the money aspect, I tell my team all the time, like if they're interested enough in doing this, they'll find the money. This is a burning passion for them. They'll find the money somewhere to be able to pay
Yeah.
for it. In no hurry. Hurry means that there's no sense of urgency in any way, shape, or form for somebody to make a decision. If you give people forever to make a decision on something, they're never going to make a decision itself. I mean, even coupons expire, right? So, there has to be that sense of urgency that you have to buy now or you're going to lose something, in the grand scheme of things.
Yep.
So,
No, could not agree more with you. No, no, it's true. It's big thing, and one of the thing also that I always believe is you're not selling, you're helping people solve a problem, and
yep,
that's like the biggest thing to me because it's a big shift in mentality when you're trying and at our agency, what always trying to sell ourselves, but I
right,
always tell everybody in the company, everybody that don't think about selling our services, think about how you can help somebody solve their business problem, because our
right.
goal is to help people get more awareness, get more leads, get more sales, get more business online. And so it's always like focus on that. And then I find that when you're focusing on this particular mentality, the service, the discussion is totally different, and the
Yep,
mindset at the end of the day is totally different. And because we're there to help people, not to sell them something. The,
right.
the the thing is like we help, they succeed, we get money. Everybody wins. That's kind of like
Yep,
our mindset is like the sole goal of our company is to help people do better with their company. And then
yeah.
the I would say like the effect of that success is that we get money as well.
Well, one of my favorite quotes goes right along with that. So Zig Ziglar is, a titan in the sales world when it comes to training, right? He said that you can get exactly what you want if you help enough people get exactly what they want.
Yeah,
It all comes down to that. Sales is nothing more than a transference of feeling. If I can get somebody to feel how I feel about the product, for them to feel the same way, then you'll sell it every time. For me, I tell my team that we're influencers. You know, if somebody was able to just, read the franchise disclosure documents, and pay and writes carrying transitions a check for $50,000, there'd be no need for any of us. But franchising itself, it's something that has to be people have to be educated on. They have to understand what the product is. They have to understand the value of it. And we sold 79 franchises last year, but we turned 13 people away that it wasn't the right fit for either them
oh,
or it wasn't the right fit for the brand. So, it's definitely this back and forth on, is it the right fit? Because I got a lot of people that, they would, spend their last penny to get into this, but it's not the right decision to, have somebody eating bologna sandwiches, for the next 5 years because they're so over the top, right? They're
yeah,
so underwater
so
that they can't get
stretched.
themselves out. I mean, me personally, um, my reputation's on the line for every person that I bring into the system, right? I couldn't morally be able to take, 50 grand from somebody and then they're going to spend another 30 to be able to get the business up and going, knowing they're going to fail,
Yeah,
right? I wouldn't even be able to, do what I do or even be in sales if that was the case, This is definitely not a, I'm going to take somebody's money and just go make it happen, right? Good luck. That's the reason I love this business so much, especially with this company, is because the support they get and just the reputation of Carrying Transitions itself is all on the line, and it all hinges on what my team does.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
not just growth at all. It's really like smart growth.
strategic, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's really cool. So can you tell us how, if somebody's interested in opening a franchise with you, how does that work? Should they call you, contact you? Like
Yeah.
now is the time to give everybody your
All right.
pitch.
Perfect. So yeah, I mean, Carrying Transitions, the brand alone is amazing. It's an amazing concept. We are the largest provider of this kind of service. If anybody's interested in more information, they can go to carryingtransitionsfranchise.com. That'll give them a ton of information online. They can fill out a form and be able to have one of my directors be able to reach out to them directly. My email is the letter J Stapleton, Stapleton at carryingtransitions.com. Anybody watching this, they can definitely email me. And
I'll put all the links in the description as well.
perfect. And yeah, I mean, those are the best ways to be able to reach out. Our process itself is a 4 to 6 week process. We go as fast or as slow as somebody wants to go to find out and discover more about the brand, see if it's the right fit for them. I tell people all the time, I'm the guy in the back of the gondola singing to them as we go down the canal. We're not here to pressure them into anything that they're not ready for. But if they're looking for a business that can really change their life, leave that legacy for their family, every day, they know that they're going out and helping a family, taking the stress off their shoulders. And once again, that payoff is getting that hug and a check after every job they do. This is the business for them then.
Yeah. No, super. So we'll make sure to get all the info in the description. But it was really great to have you. And it's, I really enjoy finding companies that make everybody's life better, really try to help, and also not just with your clients, but everything you impact when the move happens. So senior living, residents, families, and everything. And it's really, really nice. And hearing that, because I've been through a couple of moves, international moves, that was horrible, by the way. And even the stress, because I have my grandfather that we tried, he wouldn't move out of his house, but that's another story.
Yeah.
There is so much you can do about it. So to have a company like that, so professional, I can get it done in just a matter of weeks, when we all know that it's always stressful and it always takes double or triple the time that we think it's going to
Right.
take. So that's a really cool concept, and I'm really rooting for you guys.
All right, perfect. Well, Alex, I really appreciate the time and the invite to be able to be on here and talk to you.
Have a have a good day, Jim.
All right, thanks, Alex.